because it's so good. Because you might say, well, I'll just go mass rifleman. It only takes 2 riflemen in Tana Circus to take out a dragon. It only takes 2. There can only be 1 Highlander, but 2 riflemen can share some glory. And I've seen Rain of Fire. It only takes 2 to do, to take down a dragon. And you would be right, except think about this. Look at what this is just reinforcing that Slammer 4 wants to go for dragons. But let's look at this. Dragons have 220 hit points. Riflemen do 6 damage. That means roughly 38 attacks to kill 1 dragon. That also means that a full health mage, or even a reasonably full mana mage, like this one, covering up almost into perfect, heals 20 mana for 50 hit points. He can heal this dragon 5 times. So he effectively, Slammer 4 can effectively take out each one of these mages that has roughly full mana. You can remove them and say that he just has another dragon. It's actually even more effective than that because he can take wounded or damaged dragons, pull them back, and be just fine. This is not a good fight. Get out. Get out. Now, here's a couple cool things that are going on. Remember how we made notice of the fact that Slammer 4 got armor in a situation of dragons versus dragons? Armor is actually inferior to getting weapons. The reason being weapons give plus 1.5 and armor gives plus 1. That means if both of you put in for 1 armor and the other, or one puts in for 1 armor and the other one puts in for 1 weapons, for the same money, same amount of time for the upgrades, and same units, effectively the player that got plus 1 weapons got plus 0.5 attack for free. Now, however, plus weapons indicates that you're going to use dragons as part of your army, not as a replacement for your army. Because you want to raid with them. Oh, here's the attack on the 3rd. Whee! But plus armor indicates you want them to become a pivotal part of your army. And here's why. Dragon against dragon, you're going to lose. But if you're making more dragons than your opponent and you get armor, they have a benefit in going plus weapons, but it's a negligible benefit. What happens if your opponent goes for infantry? Well, if your opponent went for infantry and they're getting tech and they're getting upgrades, and they find out that you have armored dragons, they're in a world of hurt. Because who shoots up? Not soldiers, not catapults. That would be somewhat cool, but not catapults. You can't. This isn't Magic the Gathering. You can't play red and then like Slammer 4 and then use fling and take a worker and smash it into the sky. This isn't Yu-Gi-Oh. We don't have catapult turtles, but something about catapult turtles. Armor is this tremendous benefit. It already takes about 2 riflemen to take down 1 dragon, assuming they're both even. But because of the number of hit points that dragons have and how low the damage is for riflemen, every time riflemen attack, the dragon will get the benefit of that armor. And it will stack up like so. Look at these dragons. They have plus 2 armor. And look at Jib's riflemen. They have no upgrades. If for every, let's say this rifleman attacks 6 times. It attacks 3 times. It's going to do 4, 8, 12. So this plus 2 armor, basically say for every, right now, just at plus 2, for every 4 attacks that this rifleman does, only 3 of them are going to be as effective as if they were on even upgrades. And that matters a lot when you're talking about literally dozens of hits to kill each dragon. Now, Jibs, he's getting some attack upgrades because he recognized, oh crap, this is getting insane. The guy he saw armored dragons when he pushed over this way and raided this tower. But notice the difference between how Jibs plays with his dragons and what Slammer 4 is doing with his. Slammer 4 has Dragon Mage. That is his army. It is very hard to beat. And let's break that down. Dragons have a lot of hit points, so they can tank damage well. Mages can heal the dragons, so they can tank even better. The dragons get more benefits from upgrades in weapons than other units do in weapons. So they become more effective versus other units, assuming that there's equal upgrades the later that the game goes on. Now you might say, well, this is dumb. I mean, it's not stupid, but all Jibs has to do is just make a ton of riflemen, and it's good to go. But here's the problem with that. If Jibs doesn't have dragons, then he has no map control. If you don't know what map control is, or you're not familiar with the idea, map control is the idea that you can move where you want on the map, and your opponent doesn't have that freedom. If Jibs did not have dragons, Slammer 4 could go over to this base, over to this base, over to this base. Oh, the army's moving out. Go over here. Go over here. He can attack literally wherever, whenever he wants, and he can expand effectively wherever he wants. Because there's nothing stopping him, Jibs won't be able to move out with anything but a large force. If he does, Slammer 4 will wipe them out. Let's say Jibs did have a ton of riflemen, ignoring the map control aspect. These mages aren't being used for Flame Strike, which is very mana intensive, but heal. What that means is that, look at the upgrades. He's gonna start it soon. But as the game gets later on, and Slammer 4 can't effectively heal spam his dragons to victory against riflemen or other things that shoot up, what he'll be able to do is just learn Flame Strike. Seems good. The dragons will force the riflemen to have to get in position to shoot at them, and the mages will come in and sweep up all of the things. Now, Jibs is doing something that's very smart when he saw that his opponent is going for heavy dragons. I want you to note, look at the unit count. Jibs is not making any more dragons. What? No! No! Oh, woo. Oh man, that was scary. Oh man, I'm actually gonna keep that just so I can remind myself that I need to get a new laptop. Anyways, Jibs is sticking at a nice round number of 67, and he's getting upgrades for weapons for them instead of armor. Now they're going to win in a dragon versus dragon scenario, but they're not going to win against dragon mage. But what these can do is they can tank damage reasonably well, but they're also very good at worker harassment. Because look at this. Whereas Slammer 4 has to keep his dragons more or less with his army so that he can heal them and make them as effective as possible, Jibs can use this as his army, and these 6 to 7 dragons just as a raiding force. It makes sense. It takes about 3 dragons, as I said, to take out a watchtower that's already complete, and 6 dragons, especially with these upgrades, can effectively one-shot workers. They just target a worker, it's dead. Target a worker, it's dead. Target a worker, it's dead. And while he's not going to win this fight, he's going to retreat. What it does allow him to do is get some upgrades for his units. He's preparing for that transition to riflemen, and he's getting mages with them so that he can heal them to counter the heal that's going on against the dragons. Now, this is actually incredibly smart. And we're going to see, look at this. They're actually full up on units. And here's something that's smart that's coming out of Jibs. First is his towers. Look at this. This is a prerequisite if you're going against dragons, but look, there are towers everywhere, and not just one. There's one crippling weakness of Dragon Mage. Its strength, especially the way that Slammer 4 is playing it, is, here, let's see if we can't speed up and discover it for ourselves. Man, he's getting some upgrades. Dang, he's getting some upgrades. He's going to have +5 armor. That's going to hurt. Now, they're maxed out, but here's the thing. Come on, speed up. Jibs is putting down watchtowers because whether he recognized, I'm going to say he recognized this. You know what? I'm going to give credit to Jibs. I'm going to say that he was smart about it and he thought about it ahead of time. He just had a very good intuitive decision. A couple of them. One, Mage Dragon is the most efficient army, but you have to sprinkle in some soldiers, and here's why. The dragons will take a lot of time to kill these soldiers, and these soldiers have nothing to bother them except the mages on the ground. And Jibs also recognized something that's very wise. Dragon Mage will win, assuming, equal control and all that. That's a flame strike. That's all that was. Dragon Mage will win on the ground. They will win in the air. They will win when they're together. Army for army, I don't think if you just sprinkle in like 3 to 4 soldiers, just for the laughs of it, I don't think it can be really beaten as an army against another army, assuming you're not hopelessly down. As we can see, there's less than 1,000 gold difference. No one is hopelessly down. But it has a weakness that Jibs is exploiting with this choice of fifth, and this choice of fourth. And that is this. Dragon Mage will win on the ground, and it will win on the air, and it will win in a straight-on fight, but it has no ability to siege. That sounds intuitive. Not. It sounds like the counter of intuitiveness. But I have an idea as to why that is, but I'm sure there's more that goes into it than this. But effectively, dragons do a lot of damage. But dragons have a slow rate of fire. They take time, like they can walk over here and destroy these 2 watchtowers, but it will take them a lot of time, because just for reference, if you remember how quickly a soldier attacks, look at this nice move by Jibs. This is the difference between how Jibs is using his dragons and Slammer 4 is. Anyways, for sieging for Dragon Mage, they can destroy a watchtower easily, like 3 of them, like I said, especially with upgrades. But they take so long to do that it gives the player who doesn't go Dragon Mage, let's say they go Rifleman, the chance and the time to get over that away and defend. And so even though the dragons are faster, they can't really take advantage of the fact that they're faster by laying waste to something and getting rid of it. Because dragons attack about at half the speed of soldiers. They attack slower than riflemen. So look, we're going to see an excellent example here. And we're going to even slow this down. 3-5 versus 4-5 and 1, so that's roughly equal. Now, here's something important. These dragons have 5 armor. These ground units have 2 weapons. They're only doing 8 damage. Now what that means is that 8 minus 5 is 3. That's a lot of shots to kill. It's 74 attacks for them to kill a dragon. And because they can't burst them down quickly enough, the only thing that Slammer 4 has to do is heal the injured dragons. And he will literally be able to heal them and probably even regenerate the mana faster than Jibs will be able to attack them. Now look at this. You see this? Heavy upgrade advantage, heavy heal advantage, but he wasn't able to take the fight here. But when he moves up here, we're going to go over and just press Q to make more sense of this. Look, Slammer 4 has 9 dragons and 7 mages. There's going to be healing going on. Oh no, I zoomed out. That's bad. There we go. It's just glitching up a little bit. I think maybe it's all the sprites. Oh.